Welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Nerd. In this video, we are reviewing the biggest surprise of the summer box office, Twisters. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter. Joining me, we got Josh Winter, we got Christian James, we got Nick Murphy. We just got back about 10 minutes ago from seeing this movie. What'd you guys think? We haven't even talked about it yet, behind the scenes.
So I love this movie so much.
Oh, yeah. I have not heard what you guys actually feel about it, so good?
Yes, I love this movie so much.
Okay.
I've already texted like 7 people and it's 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
So it's a Friday night though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It is Friday.
I think on our last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, I called out that Twisters was probably going to be trash.
Oh, dude, I fully expected it to suck.
It should have sucked.
It should have.
There's no reason this movie should have been
Like,
good.
how do you follow up a modern day classic? I mean, I'm not going to say it's on the same level, but
just add an S.
Yeah. Damn it, it worked with Alien. We can make it work with Twister.
It really did.
All right, so Tim check before we dive in. Josh?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
I loved it. It was great. I think it did help that I had exceedingly low expectations going in. So like, I mean,
it can only go up.
Yeah, like I mean, like in all fairness, I expected it to suck. That always helps.
Sure.
So, they call it the Morbius effect.
Oh,
actually, if you expect it to suck hard enough, the worst it can be is meh.
Yeah.
But no, this was like actually really, really, really good. And if I didn't want a cowboy hat before this movie, I definitely do now. Yep.
I don't know if you could pull it off the way Glenn Powell does.
I didn't say I would look like Glenn Powell. No one looks like Glenn Powell.
Christian.
I mean, for me, it was a movie.
Oh. Usually when you say that, it's a bad thing.
No, I mean, this is on the better side of that.
Okay.
It was a movie, but I acknowledge that the effort that they put into this movie, which made it definitely better than it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not praising it, but
I ain't hating on it.
I ain't hating on it. Yeah.
Okay. Nick?
It was alright. It was alright.
Okay.
The first one was better.
Sure.
I thought.
I mean, that's always how it's going to be.
Yeah. The story was very similar.
Yes.
Which I guess is really kind of the only thing you can do. with a tornado
I mean,
movie.
it's a flimsy excuse to encounter 8 tornadoes in one movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Within
like
3
the
days.
story just gets you around tornadoes. That's the only reason it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But I also thought the story was different enough to where it wasn't just episode 7 ripping off episode 4 Star Wars.
I don't know. It was kind of exactly that.
I don't know. Like
We're going to yeet something into a tornado 8 times.
But overall, good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I don't have to ever see it again. But like it was cool. Like I guess I was hoping for a little bit more spectacle with it being a 2024 movie versus 98, 99, whenever the first one came, 96.
Yeah.
Way back.
So, I was, because the tornadoes looked incredible in the first and Twister singular.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was kind of expecting a little bit more from this spectacle wise, but I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. It was everything I wanted it to be, but more than I thought it was going to be. Yet again, I don't think I knew it wasn't going to be able to surpass the original classic, but I think it did just enough to where it was not a waste of time, and it was a very enjoyable movie.
I'm glad it wasn't long either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a sequel that was almost 30 years in the making,
Sure.
the fact that we're not saying it sucked is an achievement all by itself.
And I think the biggest reason it didn't suck was because, yes, there were like nods to the original, but not really in your face nods to the original. Like for the most part, it stood on its own.
I was waiting for Glenn Powell to be Helen Hunt's son.
Yeah.
Right.
I was waiting for that, and I'm really glad they didn't do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Me and
Like-
Corey were talking in the car.
Because like they were kind of making it a big secret who her mom was.
Mhm.
And then when the
Yeah.
reveal came, it was just like, oh, there's just
No,
a lady.
Yeah.
Like Christian and I just sat there for like 10 minutes while watching the movie. Was she in the first one?
No.
No, she was not.
But she is recognizable.
She is.
Like, I think she's the wife in Liar Liar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maury. Mara
she spent-
Tierney.
Yeah,
Marla Tierney.
she's spent most of her career being the wife in like many things.
She is known for ER. Liar, liar. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I knew her from. ER.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was one of the.
We grew up in a house with a lot of ER.
Yeah. She was in 199 episodes.
Yeah,
Wow.
like she was on it forever. She was on it for I think almost all of it, if not all
She
of
played
it.
Abby Lockhart.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Twisters.
She's looking good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from a
Just
story,
saying, now that I know who she is, I'm like, oh dang, okay.
aside from a story that, as you guys were saying, is for the most part identical. It still did enough to set itself apart to where it's like a sequel without being a sequel. Like it didn't really pick up the story of the original.
Yeah.
It didn't follow any of the same people.
Different place too.
Different place.
It is the second chapter in the Twisters anthology.
Mhm.
Yes.
The next one will be possessive.
Yes. Twisters.
Yeah.
Apostrophe S.
Okay.
The fourth will be S apostrophe.
So some of my pluses, yes, I made notes. Even for a movie like this, I made notes while watching it. And I think, I mean, there's not really anything to spoil in this movie aside from like how it ended and stuff like that. So we
There's
can-
tornadoes.
There's tornadoes.
There's tornadoes.
tornadoes.
By the way.
So I think we can here and there talk like minor story details without.
I don't
really
think it
spoiling
matters.
Yeah.
Devastation.
It's not a Marvel movie, so like
You're not going to see this for the story.
sure,
But
Is it?
somehow we missed the post-credit scene.
There's a post.
There really is. We were joking
walking
about
out.
it while we're walking out, and then we hear them start doing stuff. But there's like people behind us, so we couldn't stop.
Oh, well, it's fine. I'm sure.
Nothing. I'm sure it was.
Setting up the MCU of Twisters.
Yeah.
Nick Cage, not Nick Cage. Nick Fury just shows up.
No, it's Nick
It
Cage
is
for
Nick
Twisters.
Cage. It is Nick Cage.
Eye
So
patch and everything.
some pluses for me. It did the iconic, intense opening sequence really well. I was kind of wondering how I could kind of top the original movie's opening sequence, but I think it was pretty intense, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I kind of figured someone was going to die, but wasn't sure who and how. So I think it did a great job with the suspense in the opening sequence.
Very much so.
Nice and traumatizing.
Yes.
Yeah. It
Just the way we wanted it.
Yeah.
real visceral.
Nick, unfortunately, you missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was coming in from Newmarket, flying down 565.
Yeah. If it hadn't been the only movie in the last 10 years with only 2 previews,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have missed anything.
Yeah, I really figured I had more time because I figured it would have been, 30 minutes of previews like normal.
Yeah.
It was not.
No.
Twas not.
Was not. The other plus for me, kind of taking us back to how it was experienced in the original movie. I was seeing a lot of comments about the CGI just being very CGI heavy, but to me,
I didn't get that
No.
vibe.
yeah,
No, those look like real tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was actually quite pleased
like that was like the
with how it looked.
yeah, like that was like the like big thing with the original movie is that a lot of it was practical effects, very
Right.
little CGI. When they did use CGI, it was so rare that it didn't really take you out of it.
Yeah. The CG was to composite it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But for this movie, I mean, obviously they were doing a lot of CGI, but I thought it was great
Yeah, it didn't really take me out.
at all.
Which is
Convincing,
surprising.
And there was subtle tornadoes, which big plus for me. So like in the original movie, you had that scene in the drive-in movie theater where like you couldn't really see the tornado
Mhm.
except for like when the lightning would flash.
Oh yeah, the big boy in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
That first time the lightning crosses his
Mhm.
whoa. Yeah. Like,
They did that same thing in this movie, different context, but they pulled it off the exact same way. You
Yeah.
couldn't see it except for quick flashes of lightning. And it was a big
and then you were so stressed out.
yeah,
So that was my only issue with the movie.
really.
Like my only no, I loved that part in particular, but my issue with the movie is that we, especially living where we do, tornadoes just happen. Like bad
Yeah.
weather just happens.
For those who don't know, Huntsville, Alabama, it's the tip of Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
We get a dozen tornadoes at least a year.
I'm not sure if it's still true, but there was a while there, could still be true, that Huntsville in Madison County specifically has the highest number of tornadoes per like area or something. Like we have the highest rate of tornadoes of anywhere.
Roll
Excellent.
Tide.
Yeah.
I'm glad I moved here.
Yeah.
So, so we kind of have an eye on weather, and we kind of we know the protocol for things.
Yeah, we've been around it our
But
whole
like,
lives.
but like we it's like a discussion when we go to Walmart. like, well, you getting your stuff for the storm on Tuesday,
Yep.
you know, and it's Sunday, so like we know it's coming ahead of time.
Yeah.
I didn't buy. That was the only thing that kind of took me out of it every once in a while.
Yes.
Was just like
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, surprise tornado.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Well,
like really,
no.
all these people are at the rodeo, and
See, that's what I was gonna say. It wasn't so much the surprise tornado because that crap does happen.
That does
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like you want to go swimming? Yeah, on the way there, got turned around, tornado.
Yeah.
Like it's like roll them up. But I mean, it's the part that took me out of it, and this is really my only criticism of it, and I agree with you here, is a point that they visited a couple of times was we got to get to the town and warn everybody and help. First off, there's not crap you can do
Yeah.
when the tornado is coming. Secondly, if you live in Tornado Alley, you know when you're supposed to get inside
Yep.
and get down. And third, and perhaps most importantly, growing up in Tornado Alley, when you're supposed to get inside and stay away from windows, that is when you go outside and stand on the front porch to see if you can see it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And speaking of seeing it, we're in Oklahoma in this movie.
Mhm.
Lots of flat land.
Mhm.
So you're telling me they were playing that softball game and couldn't see the storm coming? Bro, they were like last minute, like, well, game's over. Like, game should have never started.
yeah.
Well, but that's my point. Is that like here? I mean, we shut down school. Like you don't
Yeah.
go. Like if
Yeah.
there's a threat of a tornado, on Wednesday,
They'll
we're
let you
looking
know,
at the
yeah.
weather Monday. Like, okay, what
Hey,
you know?
we're
what
just
do we
not
need to
doing
do?
it today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not. Yeah, school's canceled or delay or whatever.
Yep.
So that part kind of took me out of it a little bit. I didn't like some of the quick sequences
Yeah.
of weather developing.
Yeah. The
Which
camera
I
changed a
get
lot.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
have to
get it.
dramatize it.
yeah,
I
I
understand.
completely understand. But and full disclosure, I wanted to be a meteorologist when I was younger.
Oh,
So I think that's why I liked Twister so much, was
Yeah.
because of that. But
for some reason, that's adorable, Christian. I don't know why. Okay.
But that stuff just kind of took me out of it a little bit. Virtually everything else I enjoyed really very, very much.
But no, you hit the nail on the head. The only thing I didn't like about the movie.
Like
Yeah, I think they
a
tried
tornado
to save
that-
it. I think they tried to save
Sure.
it by saying it was like
A rare event.
rare event.
Like a once in a
happening.
generation event. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Generationally.
And they
Which
were-
we've experienced.
and within
Several.
for sure. But even on the news broadcast, they were talking about, hey, this storm is going to develop later, and they're like, let's slide a baseball game in there.
Oh, yeah. We were
Yeah,
at
let's have a
Kansas
street
Street.
party.
Let's
yeah.
have an entire block party. Yeah, no big. Let's just do it anyway. We'll get you
Still
home
doing that
before-
rodeo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do
You
it.
ain't skipping the rodeo.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my only real complaint.
That's a fair point.
Gonna have them cows real jumpy.
Now, I will say, one of the things I was really worried about, and when this poster came out, there was a lot of concern amongst the film community that this was going to be a trash movie because of the fire of tornado.
In context, the fire tornado was dope.
Yeah.
It was.
And it didn't
really
last very
was.
long. So, like, it was not like like Sharknado.
But this was like the original poster they put out.
Mhm.
The slide that you had up for the screensaver before this is what they've been using for the promotional.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was a studio decision, and everyone instantly said that looks stupid as hell.
Dude, it was
And-
like fire.
Yeah.
Or fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they changed it. So, which that just reminds me of the
original.
first movie,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
which
sure.
is the best thing you could do.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, no.
I
Love it.
thought the fire tornado was cool.
Yeah,
definitely.
And again, in context,
It had a
it
reason to
wasn't
happen.
stupid.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. It made sense. Like it, yeah. I didn't really do any research on this movie because it's called
it's a
Twisters.
popcorn movie.
There's
Yeah.
tornadoes. I get it.
I wasn't even going to go see it until Corey was just like, I'm getting tickets.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But you know, I really enjoyed it. I actually didn't know that Anthony Ramos was in this,
Neither did I.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that
same.
was cool. Although he's a little dry of an actor for me,
Yeah, a little bit.
tbh.
doesn't
But,
have a huge range.
Yeah,
No.
he's just your Puerto Rican friend.
Checks out.
Yeah, that's it. But no, I thought Glenn
yeah.
Powell was yeah, he was a great addition to that. Look how Brandon Perea looks very different than how he looked in the movie.
Very
Facts.
much. Wow.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I thought the casting was done really well. I think everybody played their part really well.
Yeah, like there were no huge actors. Like Glenn Powell's definitely made a name for himself recently, as
Mhm.
has Daisy, but not a lot of like
There was a
A-list actors.
She's not really been out there, but she was Sabrina, the Teenage Witch from
Yeah.
the Netflix show.
Mhm.
So Sally Draper from
just getting in trouble. Mad Men.
Mad Men. I almost said Suits. Wow.
Yeah.
There were Suits.
There were lots of suits. It was the
I'm just saying, like, you don't have like the actors that would typically be thrown at these.
No,
big
there's no-
blockbusters,
there's
like
no
Mark Wahlberg,
big A-list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg would have sucked in this movie.
Yeah.
The happening all over
I could
again.
very easily see a studio putting him in this movie.
Yeah.
Second time he is in a movie that involves running away from the wind.
um,
M. Night Shyamalan, that was stupid.
It's a great book, though. The book was incredible.
I believe
I
it.
saw that.
Another surprise, which the original movie had a little bit of it with Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, but
Oh,
a good bit of comedy in this movie.
Yeah, I chuckled
Yeah.
Funny parts,
Yeah.
yeah. Funny
several
parts.
times.
Yeah, like in the original movie, I think it was really just Philip Seymour Hoffman like saying one-liners
Mhm.
and being weird.
Just being a stoner dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the cow. But
I
aside from
don't
that,
think I knew that was him until this very
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah. If you watched it again right now, you'd be like, holy cow,
I see his-
everyone and their mom is in this movie.
Yeah, I see him in my head driving with the hat.
yep,
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, the visor the whole time.
Wow. Yeah.
I also
Uh,
like how the roles in the teams reversed. Like in the original movie, it was
Yeah.
the high tech team that was kind of like the antagonists.
Yeah.
Then you have
Yeah.
the country boys with that were the protagonists, and it's kind of flipped.
See, I thought
But then it flipped back, and that's exactly how it ended up.
right.
Well,
But also kind of not.
But see, I thought
The country
thought
boys
that,
are secretly smart.
I thought that Glenn Powell was going to be the good guy at the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
Because of course I didn't see the people dying or whatever. The very beginning. Spoiler.
he wasn't in the original the first scene.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know that he was gonna. I thought that Anthony Ramos and Daisy, they're Kate and Javi,
Javi. Yeah.
Javi.
which is similar to his character's name in The Heights, Usnavi. Anyway, I thought that they were the good guys, and then Glenn Powell's group was the bad guys.
Antagonists. Yeah.
And then you realize, well, the company that dude's working for is actually,
pretty shady.
awful.
Very
It flipped.
2024. Actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just capitalize on disaster.
Very, very timely movie, actually.
Speaking of dicks, can we talk about Superman?
Yeah, first off, didn't know Superman was
Hold
going to
on.
be in the movie.
He's all the way down there. Yeah,
David Cornsweet.
I can't get over his name. Yeah, he was randomly in this movie. Had no idea.
Did a good job
Corin's
being a
wet.
jerk.
Very much a jerk.
Yeah.
And really tall.
Yeah, just a huge man.
Yeah, he was really smacking that gum in the beginning. So I
Yeah,
was like, yeah, he's
100%.
going to be awful.
Yeah.
You
You could
just
tell.
knew he was
That's
going
Yeah.
to
the bad
Yeah.
guy in wrestling.
He's wearing
Yeah.
his, yeah. He's smacking that gum, and that hat is right here.
Yep.
Can't see his eyes. I mean, we all can because we're like down here looking up. Anyway,
But I also like how they implemented the whole he's a YouTube chaser because that's very much a thing today.
yes, again,
Mhm.
very 2024.
But aside from that, any thoughts?
No. Surprise smash. Speaking of that, it was full at
Yeah,
the
dude,
theater.
The
Yes,
theater was
cool.
full, yeah.
Like
we were in
that's the most packed theater I've been to in a while.
We're in the overflow parking lot.
yeah. We couldn't even park in the main
Yeah.
parking lot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the nice theater. We were in like the secondary
Yeah.
theater. Like,
The neighborhood theater.
yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't no IMAX here. But no, it was packed, and the demographics. They caught a bunch of the folks who were our age when Twisters came out.
Mhm. Sure
Yeah.
did. And our
Um,
parents, yeah.
Yeah.
So who were probably even more like, holy crap, this is such a cool movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they grew up on no affects nothing near like what that was. in
Oh, yeah,
96.
definitely.
So,
So no, that was cool. This is exactly what Tom Cruise wanted.
All right. I think I accidentally closed my tab. So while I pull this up, any final thoughts before we get into scores?
Yeah,
I really didn't like the music.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it was a
actually
gap.
didn't like the
yeah,
music.
It was
I
a
forgot
gap.
about that.
Yeah.
The
was-
best parts of the music were the diegetic music. The parts of the music where it's supposed to be them listening to music.
Mhm.
Mm, Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Like when they go soundtrack instead of score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So I liked some of the country, like actual songs,
Yeah.
that they played throughout the movie. I don't really care for country that much, but it worked perfectly for this movie.
It is very on demographic.
But the orchestral stuff, it was like Dunstan checks in. Like
Yeah.
like what are we like?
I'm not saying the score was made on an iPad,
Wow.
Yeah.
but it
But
might
like-
have been made on an
Uh-huh.
iPad.
Uh-huh.
Garage
Yeah.
band.
Yeah. Who's the composer? Look that up. But no, the music was just not. It wasn't for me, pal.
Like when you go back to the original Twister,
Mhm.
like when they're like in their convoys heading towards a Twister, like the music is getting you hyped up and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
This music was not.
I think it just needed like some grunge elements. Like you could have the string section, brass, whatever. But I needed like some guitars, some riffs, some
Yeah.
energy to it.
I need
And
you to
it-
rub a little dirt in it.
Yeah, it was a little too. It was too. It was too like Final Destination. Like something scary is happening instead of I'm on the edge of my seat and my heart's
Anticipation.
racing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the composer was Benjamin Wallfish.
It's definitely Wallfish.
Well,
His name is Wallfish.
He's an English composer.
oh, he don't know
Shazam.
nothing about naders.
He did Shazam,
Yeah, he
Hidden
got
Figures,
tornadoes
that's
over
crazy.
there.
The Flash, Alien, Romulus.
So he's had some big films.
Wait, he won. Was it a joint nomination with Pharrell Williams and Hans Zimmer for Best Original Score for Hidden Figures?
Huh.
Okay, but
So he can come to
I feel like if
Cookout,
you-
but he can't write music for it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like if you worked with Hans Zimmer, that means you were in the room when Hans Zimmer did work.
Yeah, but like,
Oh, he did The Flash.
it just needed to be one of those thick Hans Zimmer type
Yeah.
scores that would have really like put it
The-
over the top. I think.
The only music I remember from The Flash is the music from all the movies that The Flash stole.
Yeah. It's like he's done some big
So-
films, just nothing
Yeah.
that really stands out musically.
But yes, that was a gap, and I didn't think about that until you said it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I
100% agree.
100%.
I was
agree.
thinking during it, I was like, boy, this is not.
But this is not
The only time I remember thinking that specifically was the second time they went after a tornado.
Mhm.
And again, it was exactly like you said, the big caravan with the swooping drone shots and everything like that. And it was just kind of like
I mean, I feel like
which is like
even-
fine.
I feel like even the director knew because he like the music was very quiet.
yeah, they kept
during
that
a lot of the
tone
movie.
down.
It was
Yeah.
very like the orchestral stuff was very quiet compared to the soundtrack stuff, like you said.
could have hit up Audio Jungle and maybe had a
Yeah.
better.
For real.
I'm sure it was AI.
Yeah, sorry, Wallfish. You just keep practicing, buddy.
This wasn't it.
It wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't.
Well, all of that said, let's get into scores. It's been a while since we've actually reviewed something here. So, as a reminder, or if you're new to the channel, the way we do things is on a 1 to 5 scale. We do decimals. So, we could do 1.5s, we could do 2s, we could do 2.35, 7, 5, 8,
Oh my god.
something. It's all Jason's fault. And we rank it on just the scale of entertainment value. Did we enjoy our time? A 5 would not necessarily be a perfect movie. It would just be a 5 out of 5 good time.
Unless you're Jason, in which case he will totally give a movie that he thoroughly enjoyed a 3 on technicalities.
So, all of that said, once we get all of us giving our individual scores, we average everything together to give us the overall Eat Sleep Nerd score. So,
And we tend to be pretty close to what
Yeah.
general audiences say.
Yeah.
So
What
let's
was
see
it?
what happens.
It was 7.
7-1.
So
I
on
think is
IM
what IMDb is.
on IMDb, it's currently sitting at a 7.1 out of 10. If we were to look this
Not
up
bad.
on,
The old tomatoes.
let's see what Rotten Tomatoes is
Up,
saying.
Up.
What?
78.
78.
So that's typically the critic score.
Quiddig.
Oh,
Audience.
audiences say 93.
93.
But again, remember how Rotten Tomatoes works. All it
Yeah.
is I liked it versus I didn't like it.
Right.
There's
So
you don't rate how much you like it.
Alternatively, if we were to go,
Did you like it?
Yeah.
all that said, who is scoring first? So give me your score and your
Christian.
reasoning for the score. Yeah, I'm staring at you. So
Yeah, I was about to interrupt anyway.
Popcorn Christian.
But 4.
okay.
Again, this is out of 5. Christian did not hate the movie.
I didn't hate it. But
4.
a lot of country.
4 feels right.
A lot of country.
And define
Yeah.
the reason why I'm not going to Oklahoma.
100%.
So flat.
That ain't the only reason, man.
I mean, bombings and tornadoes.
Wow.
Checks out.
It happened.
It
Checks
did.
out.
30 years ago.
Read a book.
Okay.
Anyway,
Is that the only reason that you gave it a 4?
no.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
He has no more reasons.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're done giving it your score.
I
Okay.
am.
All right. Very concise. Love it. Who's going next?
I'm gonna give it a I want to give it a 3.75, but I feel like that's too low. But I don't want to give it a 4. So I'm gonna say
There are lots of numbers
3.99.
between 3.75.
well, I just want to make it simple. I want to say
appreciate that.
3.75.
Sad.
And I might make it higher at the end of this.
Okay.
But
He's gonna wait and see where the final score comes out.
100%. I just the music kind of killed it for me. I loved. Okay, make it a 4. The end.
Talked himself into it.
I did. The theater scene was very cool. I loved how, spoiler, I guess maybe it's a tornado. You know,
Yeah, like
Stuff
seriously.
happens.
yeah. That scene that at the very end where the tornado just ripped the movie screen off of the wall,
Oh yeah.
and there just was a tornado right there. I thought that was really really cool.
That was the Nope
instantly had a
moment
40
right there.
there.
That was the Nope moment.
Yeah. I didn't super like the fast forward weather stuff and the
I mean, yeah.
you know, the stuff that we talked about before. The music was kind of so it definitely would not have been a 5. But I thought it was really really neat movie, really cool, very practical. I wonder how much of that they did build, like especially the disaster areas.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how much of that they built or not.
I'm hoping it'll be a special
feature.
features heavy disc when it comes out, because there's a lot of things I'd like to see about how they made it.
Freely,
Where
just
should
on
I put
YouTube.
these shingles? Just throw them over there.
Yeah. But yeah, 4.
4.
4 out of 5.
4.4.
All right. You know what? I'm going to give it a 4 as well. I actually really wanted to give it a 5 just because I had a great time. It was surpassing my expectations, which, you know, good time. But I'll give it a 4 because it was not a perfect movie. As we've said, the music was pretty distracting. I didn't like how hard they went into Glenn Powell's character being a good old country boy. I feel like we could have scaled that down a little bit.
No, that was half the charm. It was perfect. Chef's kiss. It was great.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out to Arkansas.
Although I will give it a lot of credit for doing a lot of the same stuff that the original movie did so well without like being very obviously in your
A
face.
rip-off.
This is from a ripoff.
No.
Like the way they followed the convoys with the camera angles and stuff, very reminiscent of how they did the original movie.
Felt like going home.
Sure.
It did.
Sure.
We watched Twister a lot
We did.
when we were little.
One of my favorite movies.
Like
Top 5.
a lot.
Yep.
A lot.
I also really enjoyed that there was a romantic element between Glenn Powell's character and Daisy. What's her name? Daisy.
It's not Ridley.
Katie.
I almost said
Kate.
Daisy Edgar-Jones. But yes, her character name was Kate.
But they kind of didn't muck with it until the very end.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, let me finish my thought.
Sorry.
I like how they had that romantic spark, but it didn't distract you from the actual storyline. Like it was, hey, this is happening, but it's not really like a thing.
I think it kind of would have helped though.
You
a little
think?
bit. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you had that weird third wheel situation.
See, I was gonna say they couldn't crush Javi.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like there were some parts in the movie where they were like linger on Javi's face
Mm-hmm.
when she walks away, and I'm like,
Does he feel something?
they're making this weird.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
he very
obviously.
obviously feels something.
Yeah. And then like obvious they were gonna put them together like that, like Kate and Tyler. But it was like, why quit lingering on his face? Like Javi, you just make
You're just making me feel bad about this.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially because at the end he was rooting for him when he at the airport. Like
Yeah.
just
while eating his Cheetos or whatever.
yeah. Like just let it happen. Just do it.
You know, that's just always kind of one of my like annoyed things with a lot of movies that just throw a romantic storyline in there for like no reason.
Mhm.
This is a movie that did not really need one, and I'm glad it was there without really being like an element of the story.
You know why they had to keep it reined in though, right? Because you cannot top Bill Paxton yelling at Helen Hunt in a tornado and the rain about how they still love each other. Like you just can't top that.
Yeah.
So they just didn't even
That's fair
try.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And it was intense. It was suspenseful. There were a lot of moments where you weren't quite sure how it was going to pan out. So I
Not
like
sure who's going to be in Twisters 3.
It was also out of tents because those tents were up in a tornado.
Oof.
That's a good point. There are a lot of flying tents.
So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
4
Josh,
tents out of
Take us home.
Those who've been watching for a while know that I tend to either hate something or love it. There's not a lot of gray area with me. So no, I thought it was great. Again, it's probably benefiting from having super low expectations. But it was great. It felt like an old school blockbuster.
Mhm.
It felt like a movie. This was the kind of movie that back in the day made me love movies and made me want to make movies. So no, I'm going full bore, both barrels. I'm gonna give it 5.
I knew you were going to do that.
5 implausible scientific solutions out of 5.
I knew you were going to give it a 5.
I really wanted to go to 5. It just wasn't. It wasn't like
No, I am fully aware that, like I said, I either go super hard one way or the other. I either loathed something or
Well,
it was the greatest thing ever.
I'm
It's the tism.
I'm
can't
comparing
help
it, I guess, in my mind, like at the back of my mind, to Top Gun Maverick, in the sense that Top Gun Maverick
That was for you.
didn't do anything special aside from just like the effects of it, but like it was an amazing experience.
It was a movie.
And
Yeah.
this is a great movie, but I didn't come out of it with the adrenaline I had from Top Gun Maverick. So that took
Because
me
it didn't have
from
Tom Cruise.
fair enough. That took me from a 5 to a 4.
He was
Like it
busy.
was great time, but just not like a great time.
Yeah.
I have not seen Top Gun Maverick.
Oh my God, that's
I
what
think
we're
I've
doing
seen-
You were
tomorrow.
sitting right in front of the poster.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this question because I haven't seen it. Did the music help it?
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. Yes. Zimmer.
There you
Yeah,
go.
It really did.
And Gaga.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yeah,
that
better
I think
music.
that would have done it for me if it had a great score to accompany
He had to have just been
everything.
busy.
Well, I
Maybe
mean-
so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Scores exist for a reason. Like it does amp things
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It's
And
literally its whole purpose.
but like a really good score almost fades into, even for a music person, fades into the background. But it just accompanies it.
Right.
But the music was so not good
Yeah.
that it was distracting a little bit. Like why are the strings doing what? Why do I hear slapstick? Like, what are we? It's just like there's a fire tornado right now, and you've got a slide whistle going on. Like, what are we doing? That's an exaggeration.
I didn't hear the slide whistle.
It's
but-
exaggerated.
Is that an actual kazoo?
Like, I don't know. It's that, but I can absolutely see a Top Gun Maverick being absolutely incredible, and you giving it a 5. In addition to it being a good movie and having good,
For real though, you want to watch Top Gun Maverick on Sunday?
sure.
Well, all that said,
YouTube is invited.
our Eat Sleep Nerd score, averaging together our scores, we had a 4, we had a 4, we had a 4, and we had a 5. That gives us a.
I'm surprised you didn't change to a 5.
I'm not going to drink.
Oh.
It wasn't. It was a 4.25 out of 5 from Eat Sleep Nerd.
So we came in a little hot, mostly my fault.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Not like a fire tornado.
You know what it really is we didn't have Jason here to be like, 2.
He would have hated it.
He would have hated this movie so much.
So I texted Britt and Jason just to make sure we weren't going to leave them out of this if they wanted to join. Jason said, "I'm going to pass on Twisters."
Which is about as rude as Jason can be.
Yeah.
When
So,
he moves here, we have to force him to go see that with us.
and he will. He'll come with
and
us.
just bitch about it the whole.
He will.
or be upset about it.
Go back and watch our Sisu review. That's where he got really heated.
Oh,
Oh, he did not enjoy season.
which is wild to me.
Because that is not a movie you're supposed to take seriously.
All right, thanks for tuning in. If you have not already, click subscribe. Click the like button on this video. Go find the rest of our videos. Click some more like buttons.
Yeah.
Leave some comments. If you've gone out to see Twister, let us know how you felt about it. Especially if you've seen the original Twister movie.
Mhm.
Let us know how this one compares.
It's a neat way of letting us know you're older than 20.
Surely people still watch it that are new.
I don't think so.
It's a classic.
Every time I demoed Twister, by the way, Twister is still an A+ demo. Like, max. If you can't drink yet, you've never seen that movie. Just saying.
Yeah, if you've learned about 9/11,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you can't tell me where you were on 9/11, you haven't seen Twister.
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's a sad.
That's a strange litmus test.
Yeah. What a weird way to make me sad and feel old at the same time.
Never forget.
Well, take it easy, people.
Glenn Powell, if this shows up on your timeline, hit us up.
We want cowboy hats.
And an interview.
Either and or both.
For what? Interview for what?
Just
to talk.
to
Just to talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's up, Glenn?
Like an interview.
Oh, like on the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. The credits rolling right now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, look, a Twister.